Recording in
systems
progress.
are go. All right, one more thing to do. Oh, there we go. A poem this morning from Robert Bly. Who passed away quite recently, a few months. Interesting, isn't it? We really pass away. It's a nice way of putting it, I think. Think in ways, this is called Things to Think. Think in ways you've never thought before. If the phone rings, think of it as carrying a message larger than anything you've ever heard. Vaster than 100 lines of Yeats. Think that someone may bring a bear to your door, maybe wounded and deranged, or think that it's a moose that's risen out of the lake and he's carrying on his antlers a child of your own whom you've never seen. When someone knocks on the door, think that they are about to give you something large, tell you you're forgiven, or that it's not necessary to work all the time, or that it's been decided that if you lie down, no one will die. Think in ways you've never, ever thought before. If the phone rings, think of it as carrying a message larger than anything you've ever heard. Vaster than 100 lines of Yeats. Think that someone may bring a bear to your door, maybe wounded and deranged, or think that a moose has risen out of the lake, and he's carrying on his antlers a child of your own whom you've never seen. When someone knocks on the door, think that they are about to give you something large, tell you you're forgiven, or that it's not necessary to work all the time, or that it's been decided that if you lie down, no one will die. So, dear friends, this is a broadcast, a Zoom meeting of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. Following in the ancient tradition of the Buddha. Imagine that. 2,600 years people have been doing exactly what we're doing here with the same purpose. It's comforting. Refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the way things actually are. The Dharma. And I take refuge in the Buddha, in being awake. One way I like to think of the Buddha's teachings is that he had his awakening. He realized something of great importance. A discovery so huge that we're following that today. And then for 40 some years after his awakening, he set about traveling all over North India to teach people to have the same experience he had. What a mission. So let's sit together, friends. Let us come home to the actual life of the body. And with that stability, let us notice everything else that happens. And I'm going to keep it very simple this morning. I invite you to land like a rock. Let your coffee get cold. Don't scratch an itch. Don't look anything up. Just sit and let go of the world. Let go of the activity of the world. Let your breath be like a beacon, like a lighthouse to a sailor. Come home. Be with the beginning, middle, and ending of each breath when you can. Acknowledge the mood that's present and any emotions that come through. Sitting like giant sequoias. Nowhere to get to except this moment. Awake to the nature of mind right now. Is this a mind that is easily concentrated, or is it somewhat dispersed, restless, agitated? Is it a mind with greed, longing, demanding something to be different? Is it a mind with disliking, rejection, aversion? Or a sleepy, dull mind, the sloth and torpor mind? Or is it a mind with doubt, wondering, does this work? Why am I doing this? Wouldn't something else be more productive? Or perhaps some emotion. Maybe there are the sweet, beautiful affects of loving kindness and compassion. Or maybe there's sadness, or fear, or loneliness, or so many other things. Making good use of the lighthouse beacon of the breath. Come this way for stability. Come this way for observing beginnings, middles, and endings. And let us remember that mindfulness and concentration are not the only threads of the fabric of awakening. I aspire to love and accept myself exactly as I am. Whenever I discover that I'm hurting and suffering, it is my intention to hold myself in sweet compassion. Sweet compassion, acceptance, forgiveness. Into our mix, we also bring curiosity. It's got to be one of the most interesting phenomena, human life. We bring persistence and a willingness to make some gentle exertion to persist in being present. We bring equanimity and the willingness to be with the pleasant and the unpleasant. We cultivate tranquility, which arises through concentration and mindfulness. And when joy naturally arises from within, we know this quiet joy, this, in a way, relief. And recognizing that we are the web of life. We are a node in Indra's web. Our very practice is a blessing we share with all beings. This breath, this moment of mindfulness, this moment of loving kindness, may all beings benefit from our practice. Thank you, dear friends, for coming to practice together this morning. I'm glad you're so close as the 30 steps it takes from my back door. I so delight in looking from picture to picture, name to name. Heart friends, I'm not sure if all of you know that we had a fire at PIMC on Saturday morning. I left oil-soaked rags in a heap in a trash can, and it caught fire. Spontaneous combustion's a real thing. And so here is, I wanted to start here. Here's the fire. There's the electrical box burned out, and the soffit. This is going to be one of the more difficult parts to repair. Look how close. This was actually on fire at the beginning. The attic is in here. So it was close. And yesterday morning, after a bunch of phone calls, I found this company. Here's an ad for them, Northside Electric. And they drove, these two young fellows, very skillful young fellows, drove up yesterday morning and spent 2.5 hours, replaced all the metal here in the mast and then this box. And this is where the power will come down from PGE, and this is where it goes out into our breaker box, which is down below. And work is beginning today on the fence. And we could possibly have power back in the building by this morning. So it was a small fire. It was big, big by some, but compared to what it could have been, no damage inside the building at all. And we're going to pick ourselves up and move on. Oh, Mish has corrected me. Power was back yesterday. Whoa. I wonder, did anyone know to turn the breakers on, Mish? All the inside, you did it?
I was there with Avi when the power came on, and I went down with him and turned on the breakers.
Fantastic. Wow. Yeah, sure. So there will be heat today. The fire alarm system will be on again. Fantastic. Thanks, Mish. Wow. It was a little scary yesterday morning. I called PGE first, and they said, well, get it repaired, and then it could be 2 to 3 weeks before we can get it powered up again. And then I found this company. People are so helpful. The woman at Northside Electric said, oh, don't worry about any of that. We'll get the permit. We'll do it all. And that was on yesterday. That's great. Ha! Another layer of something else. I don't have to do that today. Hooray! Whew. We do have a board meeting at 8, so I'm going to be ending the meeting just a little before that today, earlier than usual. Jim and I will need to jump off. So Oh, please check the chat. There's a link there to the meeting next Tuesday night, the 1st of February, which is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, the Belonging Committee. We're having an open meeting for the community to connect around that issue. And we have some itinerary, but we also really want to hear from you. So please consider coming. And I think I want to leave a few moments to have some sharing, so I will. We had power yesterday. What a trip. So if you'd like to share, and I invite those of you that are quiet, if you want, if you have something you'd like to share, please do.
Robert, this is Jim here.
Hello, Jim in Costa Rica.
In Costa Rica. I wanted to thank you for recording your mindfulness book on Audible, because even though I have read it before, now that I have a little bit of time on my hands in Costa Rica, I'm listening to it on Audible, and it's almost as if the same information is being incorporated differently. I'm not sure if it's because it's the second time, but I have a feeling it's because I'm hearing your voice. Thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Jim. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Reading it was really a pain. It took almost 18 hours in the recording studio to read that little book. Amazing. Oh, and there's a Where's Waldo Now thing in it. There's a mistake. There's a place where we didn't catch that I speak to the fellow I was working with, and it's several people have told me, and we could take it out, but I'm thinking of it like the Persian carpets, that they always make an intentional mistake. This wasn't intentional, but that only Allah could make something perfect. So that's my offering to Allah. Hope you're having looks like you're having a good time. I'm glad.
Morning, Robert.
I hear someone.
It's Jamie. I'm on Jupiter.
Hello, Jamie on Jupiter. Hi.
I just wanted to ask, so I'm getting to a really neat place in my meditation where I'm starting to really see and feel the sort of fruits of my labor, and it's fantastic. And I would like you to talk more, if you would, about developing concentration, because that's been a struggle for me, and I can definitely see how if there wasn't so much noise, I'd be able to move forward.
Where would you move toward? Where are you going?
For example, I'm sitting here this morning, and it's the morning that my recycling is picked up, and I remember, because I hear the truck, I didn't put it out. And your request this morning of let your coffee get cold, don't scratch itches, be still, and I'm like, shoot, I gotta run up and go and do it, and I didn't, and I sat still. But it's hard to keep my brain from going, well, but it won't go out for another week, and well, yeah, and there's just all this sort of flip out, and I just come back. And I think about it like with my dog, stay. So do you have any suggestions about developing concentration?
Well, I think if the trash guy's coming, it probably or the house is on fire or something, it's okay to break the practice, I used to tell my kids when they were little and I was sitting, This will sound bad. Don't disturb me unless the house is on fire or you're bleeding. Anyway, my daughter also sat in my lap a lot at the beginning. She'd sit there for 2 minutes and then be off. Anyway, concentration. Concentration and mindfulness are the great building blocks of practice. And developing concentration is done through gentleness and persistence. There's no violence involved. And it is through come, sit, stay, come, sit, stay. No, come, sit, stay, come, sit, stay, come, sit, stay. And it's called initial application and sustained application. And we bring awareness, we bring the attentiveness to the object that we've chosen, and then we target it well. We feel it like with the breath. You notice the beginning of the breath. And then you have the intention, not the intention, but the intention, I'm going to stay here. And then you fail. Boom, the mind goes away. And you fail is the wrong terminology completely. But then the mind wanders off. And then you're unconscious for a little while. And then there's awakening. And then there's coming back. And concentration develops over time. And it's a skill. And no doubt it has to do with developing the synapses and so on. It also has to do with waking up more and more. So we notice the subtle movements. When the mind starts to move away, we come back. And another way that we develop concentration is to practice all day. That quite literally, when you're chopping carrots, see if you can be aware of every downstroke of the knife. Or when you are stepping into the shower, be aware of that, and then see if you can be aware of the warmth, for instance, the whole time. Or if you're washing your hair and you got some nice smelling substance and there's noticing smell, stick with smell for a while. Or if you're driving, be aware of driving, seeing, hearing, sitting, touching, or just seeing. So we're constantly, as often as we remember, training the mind to do, it's called ekagata, one-pointedness. And there's concentration, which is sort of continuous. And there's also not one-pointed, there's also moment-to-moment concentration in which there's an object. Let's say there's a car horn. Beep. And the mind goes and notices it, and it takes it and notices it. And stays, and then the car horn's gone, and then that's gone. But there's been moments of concentration. Other tools we can use, I don't have my mala out here, but using beads is very helpful. And you might use using mind, I'm hurrying. Stop, Robert. Take a deep breath. Okay. We're attending to the sensations of breathing, in breathing and out breathing. We could use noting, rising, rising, falling, falling. Or if you're observing the sensations at the nostrils, in, out, out. In, out, out. And then, so you've got the breath coming and going. You've got noting happening, perhaps. Or you could add a mantra. May I be happy, may all beings be happy. So you're still aware of the breath, but you're adding in this, may I be happy, all beings be happy. From the time of the Buddha, there's been the practice breathing in, calm body. Breathing out, calm mind. So it is calm body, calm mind. And then if you add beads in, there's breathing in, calm body, calm mind, bead. Calm body, calm mind, bead. And so we're using all kinds of different regions of the brain. We're synchronizing what we're doing. And that develops concentration. And sometimes it'll be there and other times it won't. When life throws a wrinkle in, or a billiard ball, a bowling ball, or a tank or something, then you have a loss maybe. You wind up grieving for a while. though one can be very concentrated in grief as well. So there's a response, Ms. Saturn.
Jupiter.
Jupiter, excuse me.
So I'm hearing, don't force it. Keep practicing. Engage different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Don't think about it as engaging the brain. That's a useful metaphor, but really be as intimate as you possibly can with your breath.
Thank you.
Grow to have a profound affair with your breath. Really fall in love with it and dive in, climb into it like a hammock.
Thanks, Robert.
Mm-hmm. Well, I better go. We have a lot to do this morning. So thank you all for being here. Very, very delicious. What fortunate human beings we are. So let's sing our way out, off stage. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Bhavatu sabe mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Goodbye, dear friends. Lovely to be with you.
Thank you, Robert.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've worked for Northside, Robert. You're in good hands. They're a good shop.
Oh, yeah? You've heard of them before?
Yeah, I've worked for them before. They're good. And they do residential and light commercial, and that's their thing. They do real well.
Well, they got us back powered up yesterday. Imagine that. Cool.
Yeah, that's them. They're on it. Anyway, good luck.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Joe.
Have an
Goodbye,
enjoyable
everyone.
board meeting.
You all, everyone.